Justin in this movie. He's so funny. I couldn't even look at him while we were shooting half the time because I knew I was gonna, break laughing.
I would like to start by saying that something that I love about Beetlejuice is the understanding of death as something that it's part of life, not the end of it, The dead are alive, and that's why I think the idea of a manual that instructs people how to live as ghosts is genius, because everything is full of life, even if it's dead. So, Jenna, which other element or concept do you think is genius in this universe, considering that absurdity or irony?
Oh my God, what else do I think is genius? I mean, it's everything. The set design, there was so much on the set that you didn't even see in the film that was so much detail and so precise and so funny, whether it's posters hanging on the wall or the way that a door is framed. I think a lot of the brilliance and great aspects of it, as well as the things that the originals bring to the table, and Justin in this movie, he's so funny. I couldn't even look at him while we were shooting half the time because I knew I was gonna break laughing. But I think there's something that's so wonderful about being on a Tim set, and that's the safe space he provides for everyone to try whatever they want and not be judged for it. So I think that chemistry and that playfulness, you can't really fake it, and I think that shows in this movie.
Also, the way, there's obviously an enormous amount of time spent in the afterlife, and it's hilarious down there or up there or wherever the hell it is. But there's such an absurdity in the actual life as well, which I think is sort of the yin and the yang, or the parallel to, or maybe one of the points that Tim is trying to make, which is like life is so absurd anyway. And the characters that walk through this movie are so hilarious. And, if you sort of separated them all out, you could put them in dramas, but when they're all together, it's just this hilarious comedy.
Yeah, it's scary, this idea that the afterlife is exactly the same as reality.
It's more grim too.
Level and bureaucracy process, it's endless.
So, it's like a purgatory. Yeah.
This is the concept of life and death in Mexico, actually, which I love, which I like very much, because the death is not the end, but it's just a transformation, and it gives us hope. And I like a lot this philosophy of life that you have in Mexico.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. What the f***?
Talking about your character, I think he's a direct link to those Yuppies from New York, from the first movie, like the Deetz, because all of them think of ghost stories as a marketing opportunity to make money, and in a certain way, Rory reminds me some of their characters, like Timothy Bryce from American Psycho, or Adam from Mulholland Drive, these capitalist and evil characters that are unintentionally funny.
It's so funny. I don't ever think of them as like evil characters or bad characters. I always think of them as like they're just driven by something else, like they just have their ego is in such a place that's so damaged that they don't, and I also kind of love all those. Anytime you play a bad guy, you kind of have to love them. You can't judge them, So I don't know. I just think he's sort of fun, and it's, again, as I've said before, he's shallow, dumb, and that's a really fun quality to play when someone's like dumb but forward leaning,
Where's Beetlejuice?
Where's Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice is funny and scary and very emotional, and I think this, especially this movie, is very emotional because some people that are alive are more terrifying than the ghosts that are mutilated, waiting for their turn in an endless line, And that's what I think Lydia and Astrid, in a certain way, they can relate more with a ghost or the memory of someone that it's not here than with the people that it's alive, with the living. And I would like to know, what do you think about that?
I think that's so true, and I think that's part of what Justin said, in terms of it's so strange, the world that we live in naturally, actually, like aside from this movie, it's a very strange time and place to live. That this movie is able to take that absurdity and make it even bigger and sillier, it makes it a lot easier to laugh at yourself. And I think with characters like Lydia, part of the reason why people connected with her so much in the first place is because they resonated with her, and they saw her in you know, sometimes I think you need something put on like a huge billboard to like understand, a huge platform to understand kind of where you are in the world. And I think for young people who maybe are feeling a little confused or stressed out, you know, someone like Astrid or someone like Lydia, it's a good reminder that it is weird and it's right to feel that way. And you're not weird for feeling that way. If anything, you're valid and justified in doing that.
Thank you very much for your time and for this movie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again.
Thanks.